So yeah, this obviously this card's about being alone. So yeah, obviously this woman's alone. She's not lonely. This is the thing. She's alone, but she's not lonely. You know, she's content with who she is. She's very happy, and where she is, obviously, she's in this beautiful garden. And you know, sometimes if you're in a heartbreak, or if you're coming out of heartbreak, or you've been in a heartbreak, even if it's a while ago, it takes a long time to get over these things. Sometimes it can be really hard to appreciate what we have. And so, especially when it's raw, especially when it's just happened. So if you've just come out of a relationship, I'm seeing someone here who might have just come out of something I should say, or, you know, maybe it's been a while, but it feels like they're struggling in their heart. They're still struggling. They're still struggling to focus on what they have instead of what they've lost. That's what I'm getting with someone. So, you know, if you're struggling to take your focus off someone, if that's you, you know, I don't want to be one of those people saying, oh, be grateful for what you have. Oh, other people are starving. I'm not that kind of person. That's just irritating and that doesn't help anyone. But I think, you know, I think doing that, I think focusing on yourself, I think recognizing that you do have a lot of very, very nice things, very nice, pleasant things around you, that might help you. Sometimes gratitude can help people, but I don't want to be one of these sweet, nice people all the time, because I know if you're really down, that kind of thing is very irritating. But I think that's what the message of this card is. Don't shoot me, I'm just a messenger. But yeah, I think this person you're around, I think they might have made it quite difficult for you to move on. It might be that you were trying to move on for a long, long time, and they kind of kept you on that hook, if that makes sense. Because I'm getting messages here coming from an ex, and I don't know if they're still doing this or this was what was happening. But I think toward the end, I'm getting a kind of a slow fade here. So I think you're with this person, I think you saw less and less of each other. But even though you saw less and less of each other, I'm still getting lots of messages coming in. So I think, you know, it might be that they tried to get you to be friends, or it might be that you decided you just keep on talking to them, even though, you know, you were over. And sometimes prolonging that can make it even more difficult. So I think you might have been hanging on for a lot longer than you should have been. That's kind of what I'm getting now. And I'm not saying, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. I'm sounding like a horrible person right now, I know, I'm sorry about that. I'm not saying that. But yeah, if they did that, if they kept you hanging on with messages and things like that, it probably doesn't feel like that now. But I think they actually did you a favour by doing that, if that's you. Because I'm getting, you know, if they just walked off and stopped contact, it would have been really, really hard at the beginning, obviously, very, very hard. But I think, you know, you would have kept this kind of ideal up. It's like, okay, so what I'm telling you is, if they stopped contact with you all of a sudden and just ghosted you or something, that's horrible. No one should do that. But I think if that happens, you can keep up that imagination, that idealist kind of thing, that, oh, I had this in the relationship. Oh, I remember this, I remember that. But I think because, excuse me, if this is you, I think because they kept on talking to you and messaging you, even after you broke up, I think in time, you got to see the real them. Because I'm getting messages, you used to look forward to the messages, and then I think after a while you're like, oh, this is actually really annoying me. I'm really realising who they are. Maybe they said some nasty things to you in the messages. Maybe they tried to, I don't know, do things you didn't like, or say things, or maybe they suggested things you didn't want to do. Maybe they were disrespectful. Maybe things came out. Maybe the mask slipped while they were talking to you. So yeah, I'm getting this coming backwards and forwards in conversation, not seeing you face to face. I'm not seeing that. I'm just getting all these messages and messages and messages. And you can see that in this Nine of Pentacles, because she's holding this falcon. Falcons keep on coming back. You know, that they were trained in these days of the Renaissance to go away, pick up the prey, and then come back to their owners and deliver that prey to the owners. But I don't think they bought you prey. I actually think they took things from you in the end, if this is you. I don't know if they took, I think they took your time. I think they took your love. I think they took your respect, actually. And maybe they took things from you as well. I don't know, but I'm getting taking here. And, you know, I think even when you were with them, you woke up a few times. You woke up and you said, no, I don't want this anymore. But they kept you going back. Even when you had wake-up calls, I think, you kept going back. Like this falcon keeps on going back. That's what I'm seeing probably happened when you're with them. But I think now there's a little bit there you're still kind of thinking about them, because it takes a long time to stop a habit, and I think that's what it is. But I think now you look back, you can pretty much see everything for what it was. And yeah, you've got the moon card right next to this, to the right of this. And, you know, if you look at the moon card, there are 2 watchtowers, one on each side. And, you know, watchtowers are all about looking back over things, looking down over the town or the landscape or whatever it is. You can see those up there with the windows. And so now that you can look back over things, you can see things for what they actually were. So I think now you're on your way to feeling a lot more content, like this woman. You can see back over everything now. And I think there are times you still miss them. I'll be honest, there are. But you're out of the worst. That's what this is telling you here, especially with that moon card, because the lobster's out of the worst. He's out of the darkest water, if you look at that again. Okay, I have to say this. There might be some contact coming back in from them. I'm getting that horrible feeling. You know, when it's like a cycle. I think this is how they had you when they were messaging you. It feels like maybe you'd broken up, they still kept on messaging you. And I think what was happening is you're getting these messages, and then they'd stop the messaging for a while, and then you say, okay, that's over with. I don't have to worry about that again. I still kind of want them to message, but I'm trying not to think about that. I'm trying to move on. And then you just start to move on, and then you'd hear that ping. And then you'd get your heart to jump up into your throat again, and you'd be back contacting them again. That's the cycle I'm getting. And I'm getting cycle. I'm getting cycle because I'm looking at this man in the 8 of Pentacles, right down the bottom here. And he's in a cycle. He's making the same thing over and over and over and over again. Real love doesn't put you in a cycle like that. Real love doesn't do that. So, you know, and I think that's what was happening. So be really careful, because when this message comes in, or when they come to contact you again, try not to go back into that cycle. Be very, very careful. I'm seeing a question. So they're going to come in. I'm seeing a question they might ask you. It looks like quite an innocent question, I think. And you might think, oh, there's nothing wrong with that question. I might answer them. Be very careful. I'm not saying ignore them. Do whatever you want to do. That's fine. But I need to warn you that they might be trying to get you back into that cycle. And you don't want to get in that cycle, because I think you're in a cycle when you're with them, actually. And you can look back and see that now. I'm getting ups and downs inside your heart. I'm getting that feeling with my heart jumping up and down again. I think you were like that with them. Yeah, I really think they had you up in a high at times, and then you come crashing down again. And then they had you in that mini high and crash when they broke up with you, and they kept on messaging. So you don't want to go back into that again. Have a look at this woman in the 9 of Pentacles again. She's content, she's happy. You can see in that 9 of Wands, you've moved on from that now. You've moved on from that cycle. And then down the bottom, you've got that cycle here with that 8 of Pentacles. So they're trying to get you, you've moved away, and now they're trying to get you back in again. So be very careful when that message comes in, if that's you. I know cross watchers are going to be angry with me. But it doesn't mean it's about you, cross watchers, if you're listening. It might not be about you, might not be anything about you. But yeah, I'm getting that warning, so I have to tell that to someone that I'm seeing here. Right, so the other thing I'm seeing in this 8 of Pentacles is right down the bottom here, is a work situation. Obviously, this is about work, literally. So I think it's not just about work, actually. It's about work, And it's about rising up from that, actually. It's about rising up from the day-to-day and where you'd really like to be in your day-to-day. So it feels like you're at a little bit of a crossroads, if this is you. I'm getting two modes of thinking here. So it might actually be the two sides of your brain in conflict. So, it might be the right side of your brain, the spirituality, the creativity. It might be that that's kind of competing with the left side, the logical side. And so maybe it's that you're in this work, you're doing the logical thing, and what you'd really like to do is jump out of that and do something that's a bit more creative, maybe spiritual. I'm getting spirituality here. I'm definitely getting spirituality here. If that's you, I think you've got an idea of what you'd like to do. But I don't know if it fits into your idea of what the workplace is, because that's the left side competing with the right side, or arguing with the right side, if that makes sense. Because I've got something spiritual here, I've got something metaphysical or something like that, and I think that's what's at your heart. You've got a very, very spiritual core, if that's you. And yeah, if you look at this Eight of Pentacles, it's really interesting actually, because all these coins, they're kind of forming a line up this tree up here on the right hand side, and the line, it's not leading sideways, it's leading up to the skies, up to the heavens. So he's doing this repetitive thing, he's doing this repetitive job, his head's down, he's thinking, but what he's really thinking is, I really want to go up into the skies, I really want to go up into the heavens, I really want to do what's at my spiritual core, what my heart's telling me to do, something spiritual or creative. It could be either of those things, but I am definitely seeing the spiritual here, because that's what's at your core. So okay, so what I want to say about this is, if that's you, the first thing is keep going, keep planning, keep working toward this thing that you'd like to do. It's very hard right now, because I don't think you know how you're going to turn what's at your heart into something work-wise. But you do know that what's at your heart is that something different from what you're doing right now, if that's you. It's not work of the earth, this thing you want to do. So right now, I think at the moment, because everyone's going through this, obviously, there aren't many jobs around. It's that, the way the world is right now. So I think right now you do need to stay where you are. You need to keep your head down. You need to focus on what you're doing. But also, while you're doing that, make a plan. See if you can work out how to do what you really want to do at the side. And be a bit careful, don't say too much about other people, because if you look at this man again, he's got his head down. So what that's telling you is keep your head down. Don't tell many people what you'd really like to do, especially in the workplace. And that's obvious, because you don't want people to think you're not interested in your work and you want to go elsewhere. That's a very bad thing to do. We all know that. But also, I think there are some people around you who don't really understand all about this spiritual kind of thing. And so you might get negative comments, you might get all that, and you don't need that right now. That's the last thing you need. So, you've got the High Priestess right next to this. Very spiritual card, obviously. And then you've got the Star next to that as well. So you've got this workman, and then you've got these two very spiritual cards next to that. And he's facing into the spirituality. So I think that's where you might go in the future. If you've got spirituality in your core, but you're working in a job that you don't quite feel suits you, I think you're going to move into doing that for your job, but you've got a long way to go to get that. So that's what I'm seeing for someone. But keep on working toward that. If that's you, you will get that in the end. That's what this is telling you, if that's you. So I really, really hope that makes sense to someone here. I know it's quite specific, but I have to say this. Okay. All right. So the first card you've got for your present is this Moon card. So yeah, the Moon, it's another very spiritual card. It's another very introspective card. So again, if that was you making sense to you, you were looking into doing some kind of spiritual work, or you were looking into doing, transforming what's in your heart out into the earth's work. If that was you, I think, it's a very personal thing for you. Very, very, very personal. This is what I'm getting for someone. you've been through some pretty bad traumas in your life, some very, very serious traumas, very, very horrible, very dark things I'm getting here, very difficult. Maybe mental health, maybe someone pushed you into mental health problems, maybe someone pushed you into a very, very dark time. And what I'm getting here is, if that's you, you're going to use this and the spirituality that's at your core to help people that are going through these kinds of things right now. And I think that's what you really want to do. It might be spiritual, it might not be. It might be some kind of counseling, or it might be some kind of therapy that you're giving to people. It might be spiritual therapy. It might be tarot. It could be anything like that, where you're helping people to come out of the dark places and to come into the light, just like this lobster that's in this dark water in this card, and he's coming out because you've already done that. The path's in front of him. You've been up this path. You've been out of the darkness, and now you're coming up the top, and you're going to show people how to get out of that. You're trying to guide people. So if that's you, I think that's what you're going to do, if that makes sense to you. So yeah, if you're sitting over there in a job that doesn't suit you right now, like this man in the Eight of Pentacles, there's nothing wrong with a job. I'm not saying it's bad. Any job is a worthwhile thing to do if that's what you want to do. But what I'm getting for someone here is, it's not, they're sitting there day after day doing something that they don't really want to do. What they'd really like to do is something that helps other people. It feels very spiritual, might not be, but I am getting that definitely for someone. You're going to do this, if this is you, you're going to touch a lot of people. You're going to touch a lot of people if that's you. Yeah, absolutely don't give up on this. Absolutely do not. Yeah, you can do earthly things. You can do earthly things to get into that space, to get into that place where you're actually working on this. I can see you're working very hard in your job if that's you, because you're coming up as this man in the Eight of Pentacles. So if that's you, even if you're exhausted, if you come home after a full day or whatever it is, do a little thing every day. It might be that you write in a journal. It might be that you do some research. It might be that you meditate. It might be that you do something practical, like make a phone call to someone who can help you. It might be that you study, do some research. Just as long as you do something every day, what's going to happen is you're going to get to the victory. You're going to be able to do this. You've got the victory card under this. You've got the Six of Wands under this, and it's right in the middle. It's the key card here. So if you keep working toward that every day, like this man in the Eight of Pentacles, you'll get to that victory. Yeah, you've got that. Success in something spiritual. Because again, you've got the High Priestess down the bottom as well. So, okay, so now looking at this High Priestess down the bottom, I think this is how someone sees you. I think this is how someone sees you. Yeah, it feels like you're really in your own thoughts. You're in your own world, actually. And it feels like your mind's on other things that are on this earth right now. Even though you're doing your day-to-day work, you're doing your everyday thing, you're doing all that, again, like this man in the Eight of Pentacles, your mind's on other things, if this is you. You're very quiet. I'm getting a lot of this in these readings this week. A lot of people are... don't want to be around people. They want to be by themselves. They're thinking about this themselves and their spirituality and where they're going. I'm definitely getting that with you. I'm surprised the Hermit's not here, actually, but it's not here. But yeah, you're keeping to yourself. You're keeping to yourself. I think it's where you need to be right now. I think you need to be focused on yourself, meditating, exploring your own spirituality, if that's you. So yeah, you're a very deep thinker anyway. Very, very, very deep thinker anyway. I keep on getting that. That's at your core, and I've seen this before with you. So yeah, it's a very social time of year, this time of year. But I think as you become more and more submerged in this, and you keep on growing spiritually, and you need to keep growing spiritually to be able to come out the other side and help other people. Excuse me, just had a hiccup. So I think what might happen is, as you keep on going down this journey that you're going on, some of the conversations that people are having around you, I think you're just going to feel like, I know this sounds really snooty and I don't mean it to sound that way, but you're going to be feeling like, I can't relate to that. I really can't relate to what you're talking about. You know, it actually sounds like yap, yap, yap to me. It actually sounds like another language to me. I can't deal with what you're talking about. My mind's on a completely different thing. And it is. It's on a spiritual thing. That's what I'm getting here. So I think you're right to keep on progressing down that way. I think you're right to say no to some invitations if you want to. If you have to go to things, or if you want to go to things, go. But if you are feeling that, I just need to be by myself, I can't really be around lots of people right now, go down that path if that's you. But the other side I'm seeing with that is, be careful not to go too far with that. I know I'm contradicting myself. Well, I'm not, but it sounds like I am. But don't go too far down that path with never seeing anyone, because I'm getting a specific person here. It feels like a love connection. It might be that you're in a relationship right now. It might be that you're just talking to someone right now. What I'm getting is they're feeling a backing away from you. And the High Priestess can be a bit like that. The High Priestess can be a bit like, oh, I'm the Mona Lisa. I'm up there on my pedestal. I'm all spiritual. I'm up there. I don't talk to people. I've got secrets. I don't say much. She can be a bit like that, a bit mysterious. And I think that's how someone's seeing you right now, especially if you're in a relationship or if you're talking to someone, you've got some kind of romantic connection around you, that they're feeling you backing away. I'm really seeing that with someone. And they're really feeling that. I don't think they're saying anything to you right now. I think they're just standing back and wondering what they might do about that, if that's you. And yeah, I'll go into your future now, because I'm seeing the same situation over there, this love connection there. So we'll go over there, because you can see that in the Two of Cups. So someone's trying to get close to you. You can see that here. They're trying to get close to you. You can see the man in this couple here. His hand is reaching out to the woman. She's not reaching out to him. She's looking at him. She's facing him, but she's not reaching out. So I think they've tried to reach out. I think they've tried to message or talk to you or say something. I don't know if you've realised that or not, but you haven't given them the response that they've wanted. That's what I'm getting. They really do love you, whoever this is. They really want to be close to you. They want to connect with you. They really feel like, you know, you're in your own world and you're pulling away. And I think you are, to a certain extent. I really think you are. So this is something I want you to be aware of if you're with someone. I think they've taken a step toward you and they've taken a step back. I'm getting messages. I think they've sent you texts or some kind of messages, and then they've stopped for a while, because I think what's happening is they might be waiting for you. That's what I'm getting. And if you look at this Two of Pentacles down here, you can see that here. Sometimes that can be about messages going up, down, up, down, up, down. It's like, I've sent a message, now I'm waiting for the other coin to go up, and it's not happening. And I'm kind of standing here really frustrated. I'm looking at this infinity symbol that's around these coins, like this man in this Two of Pentacles, and it's an infinity. It's like, how long do I have to wait for this message? How long do I have to wait for them to get back to me, to show me that they care about me? So I just want to show you that there's that warning there. And I think if that's you, if you know what this is all about, really try and communicate with this person, try and connect with them. I don't think they're going to leave you. I'm not seeing that. I think they're a stayer. I think they want to be with you. This is the Two of Pentacles, this stability. They want to have that stability with you, but they feel like right now the stability's being tossed up and down like these Two Pentacles here. So really try and contact this person if you can. Try and connect with them, this love connection. Just tell them where you are. Just tell them how you're feeling. Tell them you do really love them. You want to be with them if you do. But you're just really feeling this crossroads right now in your spiritual life and in your work life, and you're really dealing with a lot. I think if you just opened up and you spoke to them, they'd really appreciate that from you. They really, really, really would. So if that's you, please do that. And yeah, I think apart from that, I think you're right to be by yourself. I think you're right to do that meditation, to really go back into yourself and focus on where you want to be with the spiritual work you want to do, if that's you. Again, back in this Eight of Pentacles, you hadn't found a path. You hadn't even worked out where you're going to do that. It feels very abstract right now. It feels like an abstract idea, which is what the Star card's about down the bottom here. It's like, I've got this abstract idea of what I want to do. It's up in the sky. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But I think if you do take that time out, you might actually have to take some time out from your job if that's what you can do. Some people can't do that. But take some time out to yourself, meditate, be by yourself like this woman in the Star card. And I think if you do that, you will find that path toward how you're going to turn this, everything you've been through, your spirituality, your core, your love for people and your love for helping people, how you're going to turn that into a reality. And if you look at this Star card, you can see all these little stars all forming a path around this big star. So once you've done that and you've worked that out, you're going to have to work on two levels here, if that's you, your spiritual level and the earthly level. You know, doing something every day, calling, whatever it is that I was seeing in the moon card. I won't repeat myself, but you've got to work on both levels for this to happen. And if you do that, you'll find the path to the star.